I'll go ahead and call to order the, what month is it? What, July? Right? July 15th, Kenton City School District Board of Education meeting. It is 7 o'clock. Number 2 is roll call, please.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel? Yes. Mrs. Heidinger? Yes. Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Okay, next we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
You gotta go anywhere.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I screwed that up.
That wasn't me.
It was me.
Okay. Item 3, approval and correction of the minutes from the regular board meeting that was held on June 17th, 2024. Could I have a motion? Thanks, Rodney. A second? Thanks, Tasha. Any discussion, any corrections? Everybody get a chance to look at it? Okay, with none, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes, ma'am. 4, I don't think we have anybody presenting tonight from the schools, do we? Since we're not in session. Public participation, I don't think anybody signed up when I drove by, when I walked by. 6, reports of the treasurer.
Okay.
Jill, you're up.
Yep, I have this report. This shows what was forecasted and where we ended for the fiscal year June 30th. Give one to Eric. So, and then and the third column shows the difference. So if you really want to know, let's just get right down to it. Look at the back page. We thought we'd end with $11.6 million in carryover after encumbrances. What we ended up with was almost $11.9 million, so a $242,000 difference of where we thought we would be. In comparison, last year we carried over a little over $10 million. In fiscal year 23, carried over 9.3, and the year before that was 7.8. So you can look at that in more detail if you like, but that's what that is.
Is that all you got for us?
That's it.
Man, quick and easy. Let's go ahead and have a motion, please. I should have done that first.
Wingfield.
Thanks. Brad, second.
Ledley.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jill on what she presented today?
And that's just the general fund.
Okay.
That's where all of our salaries and anything that we pay for students comes out of, books, things like that, electricity.
Okay. All right, with none, we'll have a vote, please.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Superintendent report and communication. I think you've invited somebody today.
Yes. Basically, join us real quick from Garmin Miller. I had told you guys that we'd have an update, and hopefully he's not too intimidated by the huge crowd.
No, it's a whole lot better setup than the last time I was here, so I don't have a TV to stare at with a delay, although the camera pointing at me doesn't help.
So I probably should say, for those that don't know, Jason, he was our, were you in the same role with
Yes.
elementary? Yep. So construction manager, administrator at Kenton Elementary School for that project. So it's kind of cool that he's been able to come back and be on this project as well, for those of you that don't
It's
know.
really cool, because I'm a Harkin County resident too, so it makes it
Yeah.
nice, not too far to drive. But we do have some photos going up. I was told that this shouldn't be more than 15 minutes, is what Chad told me, so we're going to take our time.
I'm starting
No,
the timer.
I just wanna, for those of you, I don't know who all's been out there, because I haven't had an opportunity to meet all of you. But I just wanted to give you a quick synopsis of what's taken place out there thus far, and then basically the month look ahead. If during this you have questions on pictures, feel free to interrupt me. I have no problem being interrupted at all. So just real quick, construction to date, masonry bearing walls have been going on throughout. You see the classroom wings are pretty much getting there in that regard to the ones that we need for structural purposes. And then structural steel throughout. Roofing has been installed actually on the auditorium as well as the stage area. So that area is quote unquote dried in. And then brick veneer has started. Obviously, we know there's question on some of the brick in regards to the mortar, but we're working through that in regards to a selection. But the pieces that aren't, I guess, involved with that aspect of the decision-making are ongoing. Concrete pours are almost complete. I know they do have a few more to pour there on the northeast side of the building, north of the stage area. And then the gym wall, and then the gym floor, and then the auditorium floor as well. Those are areas that still have to be poured, and then there's some housekeeping pads that have to be poured as well. Siding installation is taking place around the stage. I don't know if you saw that as you've driven by, but basically they had to do that in order to, once they build that up, they don't have to work off the roof deck, so they were able to get a lift in there to get that done. So they have that piece of it done. And then they are currently also working on metal studs in the classroom wings as well. And you can see some of that in some of those pictures there. Construction over the next month, basically, you'll start seeing structural steel taking place along the classroom wing, and they're going to work from west to east, what we refer to as A, B, and C. The classroom wings, you'll see structural steel roof and decking, and then the roofing will follow that as well. Now, probably, you'll see that roofing starting on the west side of that classroom wing, probably within the 3 weeks, maybe 4 at the most, so it would be right close to your next board meeting. And then masonry bearing will continue throughout the kitchen area, the gym area, all that student dining area, and those little areas of doing that, and then they'll go back and wrap around the back side of the stage area and then onto the north side of the stage. Ductwork installation has actually started, but you'll see that really ramp up. All your MEP overheads you'll really start seeing taking place inside. Now you won't see that from the outside, but they're going to start doing a lot of that work and getting that moving forward. And then also in-wall rough-ins that have continued to do. But that should be what you should see in the next month or so. And I guess with the pictures and with the looks of just anybody have any questions, I'm open to at least throw an answer out there. Not saying it'll be the right one, but throw one if you do have any questions.
Is that what you're showing there is in the auditorium?
Yeah, that's that short flooring up on the second deck, so that'll be up there where your sound room, sound booth is, and all
Is that
those
what they're
things.
pouring tomorrow?
I don't know if it's tomorrow or next week.
Mezzanine or something they're pouring.
Well, they may be doing the mezzanine behind to do those housekeeping pads. But you also, I believe, have 2 rows of seating up there on that top piece of that as well. And this here happens to be the A wing. I don't know if you designated classroom wings, what grade.
Said main academic area is kind of how we've,
Yeah, so basically from west to east in that classroom wing, they're working on the metal studs. They do have a bunch of them up in the far east side as well. And,
When will they start putting that stair steps in for the seating for the auditorium? That foam or whatever it is.
Don't know 100% when that's scheduled to go in as far as what their thoughts are. I know they're kind of focusing on other pieces right now to get ready for structural steel, because once they get done with the classroom wings, they're going to go down that main spine there and then work in the gym as well. So they want to go through all that, and I think that's, I call it makeup work or catch-up work, you know, in that time. They do have some of it framed out and ready. They did do one pour, but not the tiered piece of it yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that works.
it might be an interesting thing just to mention what it is. I mean, when you guys first told me about that, it's foam floor. I mean, it's not foam floor, it'd be concrete, but how they do that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to get too technical in it, but basically it's not, you're not going to see 12 inches of concrete. They basically have, we'll call it insulation, put in there, rigid board insulation to help isolate it, I guess, and then they'll pour that over top of that. That's what you were going
Yeah,
for.
just that you can have, I mean, I don't know how deep that thing will be, but it's just foam that's under it. I mean, you got concrete that was just poured on foam. It's wild to me.
Well, they still gotta dig that out in front of the stage, right?
Mhm.
'Cause it
Yeah,
goes down
it-
probably 4 feet, don't
What's that?
it? Probably goes down another 4 feet, don't it?
I don't know where they're at with it to say whether it's 4 feet or not, but it'd be somewhere in that vicinity. I do know that they're kind of pushed back a little bit because they do want to get some of the ductwork up that they can, that has to be up at the high point before they start putting the tiers in there, because that way they can work off a level surface without having to worry about some crooked floors or all.
Safety.
Any other questions, comments?
So I assume nobody's gonna tell us whether they're on schedule or not.
I was just
Actually,
gonna
I
say
can
that.
tell you they are on schedule. I actually review their schedule monthly, and I looked at it here just, I think, a couple weeks ago, and they're actually right on schedule. Now, when I say on schedule for the November term. I know. But that's how their schedule's laying out, is towards the November term.
I was hoping to get to walk out there today, and I didn't, but the split face block that's starting to go up, how high are they gonna go with that? I mean, and I don't know, maybe they stopped on that. Did they keep going, or?
They'll probably just do, I'll call it 4 feet
Okay.
roughly, initially around, and then they'll work with the scaffold around it. So they're kind of getting that low, what we'll call, what can get off the ground stuff done, and then they'll work their way back around.
Okay.
If you look at that mocked up, it goes above the front,
Top
the windows,
windows.
goes above the bottom one, about to the, start of the second story, it looks like. According to that, anyway.
Because you had mentioned the fact that they had, or actually you may not have, sorry. I think Brad may have said that he did a little bit of brick already. Is that's around the back maybe of
That
the?
would be, they did that around the west side where Unit D is, so where Unit A comes out the classroom wing, and then it wraps back in that, I'll call it that little inlet there.
Yeah.
What they did, that I saw as of last Thursday, was they had just done what was below grade.
Right.
So it's nothing above grade, and I'd asked them to hold off on that until we made the decision on the order.
Okay.
But I also told them that we may still pull the mortar out of that that's in there, because we all know the ground settles over time, and I don't want to see construction you see a year or two from now. Yeah. So they may have to go back and well, they
He
will.
said
go
they
back.
could change it.
Yeah, that's not.
Cool.
Anything else? Well, thank you for your time, and like I said, Chad, if you guys want me to come any other time, just let me know. And I know August I can't, I'll be out of town that day, but feel free to let me know, and I'll be more than happy to come up. Or if you guys want to meet out there some evening before board meeting and do a walkthrough, we can do that as well.
That'd be cool.
Awesome, yeah, that'd be cool. Yep, I'm up for
I
that.
don't know if maybe the September one, we can just plan on that since you'll be back. That might be a good time to.
If you can give me the date of it,
Mhm.
I will definitely put it
Yeah,
on my
I'll
calendar.
email it to you.
Yep, definitely.
If you guys are okay with that. Be a little cooler out maybe, maybe.
Maybe.
No guarantee for Ohio, but
It shouldn't be much hotter, let's put it that way.
Well, you any questions?
Technology hasn't started yet, that's what it is. All right, well, thank you very much.
Jason, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jason.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yep, anything can be hollered.
Appreciate it.
Okay, item 8, any board committee reports? Did anybody meet? Probably. I don't know if we,
Nope.
I don't think anybody did, no, okay. No old business, item 9, we'll move on to 10. New business, authorization and resolution. Looks like we're approving the fees for the classes for the upcoming school year, and 10B, substitute rate. Looks like we're updating that, I think you mentioned that to us in one of our communications, that we were updating those rates. 10C, breakfast and lunch prices for the 24-25 school year. Looks like we've got some agreements with, 10D is with Ridgemont, and then Hard Northern, and then Riverdale for shared services. We are in 10G approving the following foreign exchange students. Rodney, you were volunteered to pronounce all those names for us.
Where are we at?
10G. We'll just do Hadis, and then Lisa, I was told, the next one goes to, and Sanan. So we'll welcome those three to us, and Tajikistan, right? Tajikistan, that was close, and then Ukraine, and then Germany. So 10H, we're approving a quote for Chromebooks for the kids for $105.9, and then 10I approving some donations. 10 just keeps going, guys. So 10J, Midwest Regional ESC and the Kenton City Schools agreement between us again. Same with K. Looks like we've got some specific people there that they'll be supplying us for the upcoming school year. 10L, just moving some money from general funds. And then M, approve the consulting contract for, what's that for, Chad, do you know?
Oh,
Consulting contract for? Is that
that's
for
when
you?
we do our GASH report.
Oh, the cash, okay, the
The
report.
cash
Yeah.
gap report, or not the gap report, but the cash report for
Okay.
the audit
Okay. Oh,
for this
okay,
past school year.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then 10N, approval of 3-year agreement between
Libel.
Weibel Energy and Kenton City Schools. Could I have a motion to accept item 10? Thanks, Tasha. Second? Thanks, Rodney. Any discussion or questions or clarifications in item 10?
Don't have to abstain.
No.
No, with none, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel? Mrs. Heidinger? Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Okay, item 11, approve the following KEA Memorandum of Understanding, MOU in other words. I don't know if there's anything that we'll need to clarify in that at all. I know you've had a chance to read it. I'll give you guys a minute there to read through that so we can have a motion and then we'll discuss if we need to. So really just the retention of highly qualified educators, looks like that's what that's for. Could I have a motion to accept item 11?
Ledley.
Thank you. A second?
Wingfield.
Thanks, Brad. Any clarification needed? Questions? With none, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger? Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Okay, item 12, another MOU between KEA and us. It looks like that is also for, well, not also, I guess it's something different, isn't it?
Yep.
Supplemental contract, pay schedule, salary schedule, yes. Yes. Could I have a motion to accept item 12? Thanks, Rodney. A second? Thanks, Tasha. Any questions, clarification on that? With none, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Hensel? Mrs. Heidinger? Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Item 13, personnel items. Looks like we're hiring a cafeteria worker, and item 13B, 3 substitutes we're approving tonight. Resignation for Mr. Cohen. And then 13D is supplemental contract for employees for the 24-25 school year. And then item E is 1 non-employee that we're voting on tonight. And then 13F, extended service days following for the 24-25 school year. It looks like for 5 employees. We're doing a salary adjustment for Amanda Gilbert. And then 13H, hiring an intervention specialist. Resignation of Grant Sherman. And a consultant contract, thank you, for Doug Comstock that we've discussed. And then 13K, intervention specialist. And a step adjustment for Stephanie on 13L there. And Jacob Brown for social studies teacher, 13M. A resignation for Mackenzie Butterman. And 13O, Laura Snyder. And then approve following volunteers for contingent after required certification. Looks like a couple football volunteers. And then 13Q, the addendum contract for Jill Smith, the treasurer, effective August 1st, 2024. Could I have a motion, please?
Wingfield.
Thanks, Brad. A second?
Ledley.
Thanks, Brandon. Any discussion, clarification? Anyone needs on any of item 13? You guys were easy tonight. We'll have a vote then. Go ahead. Yeah, ask away.
So, we now have a person in charge of weight training or whatever.
Mhm.
My question is, why do we have somebody else?
Supplemental for that.
Right.
Because the individual we hired is not hired through Clinton City Schools as part of the contract, you can't remove the current coaching position if you bring in somebody from the outside, essentially.
Okay.
So contractually, that has to remain. And we are happy that we've got, people that can help.
It's not like $1
Yeah.
million, but it's just kind of
Right.
confusing if we
Yep.
hired somebody full-time to do that,
Yep.
and we still are paying somebody else.
And how long does that have to stay then in that way, you're saying?
Until the contract changes.
So the 3-year contract, you're saying? Yeah, we.
Right now, we have
right.
2 more years.
Right, okay, that contract.
Yep.
Just trying to understand it.
That's a good question.
Anything else?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Everybody good? If not, we'll have a vote.
Mrs. Heidinger? Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Okay, item 14, adjournment. Time is 7:22, not as fast as last month. But next regular board meeting will be held on August 19th, 2024 at 7 PM. Thank you.